my name is John Andrews. I am the Quality Control and Compliance Sampling Supervisor here at Mobile Area Water and Sewer Service. As many of you may or may not know, MAWSS gets in the neighborhood of between 20 to 60 discolored water complaints every single month. A lot of these discolored water complaints are caused by people operating our hydrants out in the system. We've been tracking these complaints for almost 15 years now, and we've actually found that almost 98% of them are caused by people operating our hydrants out in the system. As many of you may or may not know, a fire hydrant is nothing more than a valve that goes down into the ground and connects itself to the water line. The drinking water that is in that line goes to our kids at school, to our hospitals, as well as provides clean drinking water to the public. So if you're going to operate a fire hydrant, be it that you're the city, that you're using it to fill up a combo unit, or a street sweeper, or you're the fire department pressure checking these, whatever you're doing, if you're operating one of these valves, there's a serious amount of responsibility involved with that. And that's why we're going through this process, taking the time to make this video to show you the process that we use when we open between 60 and 100 hydrants a month to pull samples off of, compliance samples, and we don't typically ever have any discolored water issues. We hope this process helps you with that, helps you understand, and I'm also going to explain as I'm showing you that process what's going on in the ground with the water line to help you hopefully understand why it happens. What we have here is a typical fire hydrant. This fire hydrant is no different from any other fire hydrant, as you can see, and everybody knows what a fire hydrant looks like. Typically, when we see somebody operating one of these fire hydrants, what they're doing is they're walking up, they have their valve, their wrench up here on top of the fire hydrant, and they're operating it at this velocity right here. They're typically opening it up like this. A lot of the reason they're using that speed is they're in a hurry, and a lot of other reasons is just sometimes they can be hard to open. What you're going to see, the biggest difference in what I'm going to show you is going to be the difference in speed in which you're used to opening up the hydrant and what we use to open up the hydrant. When we walk up to the hydrant and start filling it up, everything is slow and deliberate. A lot of times when I walk up on the city workers or somebody like that using one of our hydrants, that's the two words I tell them. Hey man, be slow and deliberate while you're using that hydrant and don't do nothing fast. I can hear the head of the hydrant filling up. What's going on right now is the water that is in the water line is beginning to fill up this column of the hydrant, not only the valve stem down here, but also up here. The water begins to come out. That's about a 20% flow. Now, what you do with it from here is irrelevant to the outcome. If you want to go ahead and open it all the way up, if you're the fire department doing a pressure check, if you're using it to fill up a tank or a combo unit, you're going to have a hose bib hooked to this, and you're not going to be able to visually see it. So what you've got to look for is the expansion of that hose to make sure it does not expand too fast. In other words, make sure you're not opening this hydrant too fast. If you do open the hydrant too fast, what you're causing is a sudden velocity change inside the water pipe in the ground. All the water that is typically just flowing through here, whichever direction it's flowing, is suddenly going to all come to this point right here because you've opened this. That sudden velocity change causes a scraping of the inside of our pipes, which therefore causes discolored water. Now, if you have to open the hydrant all the way up to finish filling up your tank or to pressure check it or whatever you're doing, whatever your business may be, that's fine. Go ahead and open it all the way up. If you want to blow it all the way out, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do. But understand, the next procedure that I'm just going to show you is the most important, and that is the closing. Because if you just come up and just start closing this hydrant, you are going to water hammer that line. What is water hammering? Water hammering is nothing but when you suddenly stop that velocity that I was telling you about a while ago, and that causes a vibration throughout the pipe that not only causes discolored water, but also typically damages our pipes. We've actually seen water hammering issues where we've went into neighborhoods and the entire street had been lifted 3 or 4 inches from the line being water hammered. Water hammering is expensive, it costs MAWSS a lot of money every year, and it's extremely, extremely inconvenient to the customer, because while that water hammering is being fixed, that line's being fixed, they have no water, and as well as they could also cause damage to the pipes in their home. So water hammering and stopping it and not having it preventing is one of the main sources of why we're going through all this. Once you begin the shutting process, you're going to do it very, very slow. You're going to shut it down. Now, if you don't have a hose bib on it, typically what we tell people to do is when you're shutting it, you stop the flow to about right there, which is about a 20%, 15 to 20% flow, and you allow that water to flow until you see it running as clear as it's running right here. Now obviously if you have a hose bib on this, you're not going to be able to see that. So what we ask you to do if you're using a hose bib to fill up your combo unit or to fill up your street sweeper is to go ahead and close the hydrant all the way just till you stop the flow. Take the hose bib off, set it to the ground. Once the hose bib is all set to the ground, slowly, everything like I said a while ago is slow and deliberate. Slowly open the hydrant back up to about a desired 15 to 20% flow and let it run till you see it run clear. That's simple. That last step is a step that we do not see very many people do. It's something that we've been doing ever since I've been here at MAWSS, pulling samples from fire hydrants, is we always allow the hydrant to run at a low flow until we see the water be clear enough to where we think is fine. Now a lot of y'all probably saying, okay, well what if I do that and the water don't run clear? Well then you got to let it run until it gets clear, because what's going to happen if you don't do that and you go ahead and shut the hydrant and go on about your way is that discoloration is going to go on into the water lines, it's going to go into people's homes, and they're going to call us because they're going to have discolored water, they're going to have ruined loads of clothes, and it's going to cause all the problems. And that's another big reason we're trying to make this video, is to stop that from happening. The process, like I said a while ago, in which we open and close them and use a hydrant is no different than what most of y'all are doing right now. It's just a lot slower, and it's a lot more, like I said, deliberate. That's what we're asking everybody to do, and that's why we're making this video, is we want you to simply slow down, be more deliberate, follow that last step, add that last step in that we had. It will help tremendously. Once again, I cannot help but reiterate how much responsibility is involved if you're using this fire hydrant. If you're the person that's walking up and operating this valve that is connected to that drinking water line, there is a responsibility that is involved in that. And I cannot say it enough. That is drinking water that you're messing with. It is drinking water. Goes to our schools, goes to our kids, goes to our elderly, goes to our hospitals. This is very important. Don't forget that responsibility when you're using this. I hope this video has helped somebody. If you have any questions, you can contact me anytime. Once again, my name is John Andrews. You can reach me at 709-4710. That's my MAWSS cell. You can reach me anytime on it. You need to contact me. I have it 24/7 on me. Call me. Any questions, anything I can do to help, feel free to call me. Thanks for your time.